Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a video to go over classwork day 2 for your final, for the final review for the year. So just like yesterday, there's going to be a group of questions that I'm going to ask you. Today we focus mostly on angles. And again, I'm going to have the steps. So we're going to write down the steps. And again, I'm going to teach you a few of them. Today I'm going to teach you 7 of them. Or go over 7 of them, and then you'll do the now you try, which is the repetition or the same kind of questions as we've just done. That's definitely the best way to do math. So here we go, 7 questions for today. All right, so we have line, that should be line AD and line BE intersect at point F. What is the value of X? All right, so we haven't done this in a long time, but this little box over here, hopefully you know that means 90 degrees. And if I look at this line right here, BFE, you'll notice that it's created of 1, 2, 3 angles, okay? And a straight line I had taught you means a certain amount of degrees. Straight line is 180 degrees. So if we take 45, 90, and X all together, we should get 180. So we're gonna make an equation. Even though we're dealing with angles, we're going to deal with equations. So 45, 90, and X is going to be equal to 180. So remember our DCMS. So you're going to no distribute, going to combine your like terms. 45 plus 90 is 135. And then now moving our regular side, I'm going to bring this over to here. Opposite of addition is subtraction. So your inverse gets you 45. So this angle right here is 45. I'm going to put a little degree mark because that's what we do when we have angles. So here are your steps. It's always good to have the steps when you're going back and doing the now you try, when you're going back and doing your homework, when you go back and studying. Sometimes when you look at a question, you're not really sure how to get the answer. That's what those steps are for. And this is why everyone always does well in my final. So angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So that's what we want to know. And we want to know that a right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, so add the angles up to get 180 degrees. Basically, that's what we're doing, and that's the reason why. All right, number 2, in triangle ABC, so we have triangle ABC, the measure of angle A is 43 degrees. The measure of angle C is 90 degrees. What's the measurement of B? So this right here is going to tell me it's a specific type of triangle. 90 degrees, hopefully you remember. That's your right triangle, okay? And that has to be C. So we could put A, B, and C. So A is 43 degrees. We know C is 90, and we want to know the measure of angle B. So I had taught you that if you add up the 3 angles in a triangle, they always add up to a certain degree. And that degree is 180. So 43 plus 90 plus our unknown is our X, equals 180. So like above, we're going to combine our like terms. 133 plus X is 180. Subtract, and we get 47. You should never have any negative answers here because you can't measure a negative angle. Okay, our steps. So the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180. So add the numbers up to 180, basically. All right, so now number 3, instead of me telling you it's a triangle, now I want you to tell me if it's a triangle or not. And basically, it has to do with what we just wrote above, so I'm going to write that first. The sum of the 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180. So that's basically what you're testing out. So if I take these numbers, 45 plus 73 plus 62, I should get 180. If I get 180, it's a triangle. If I don't, it's not a triangle. So 45, 73, and 62, yep, it does give me 180. So that's a true statement. So yes, it is a triangle because the sum is 180. So this one is probably most likely going to be multiple choice. So you're just going to go through all the choices until you get to the one that adds up to 180. Actually, I think all these questions we do on all these classworks, the first 7 days are going to be multiple choice. All right, number 4. We haven't done this in a very, very long time. But remember, all of this actually was also reviewed for your midterm as well. So you should be comfortable with a lot of this. In the figure below, what's the measure of angle 4 if 8 is 170? All right, so if this is 170, this is going to be obtuse. So the one across from it is also going to be 170. And then where your obtuse one's up here. Okay, well, that will be here 170 and here 170. Okay, so if I do 180 minus 170, I'm going to get 10. So that means this is 10, this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10. Basically, all you have to know is that this one right here is 170, which is what it gave us. And remember, I would explain to you me being like the Hulk and getting really upset and taking these angles and ripping them off and putting them right on top of here. This angle is in the same position as this angle. So because this is 170, this was going to be corresponding, and it's also going to be 170. So same position, okay? Bottom left, you're going to get 170. So here are your notes. Angles in the same position are corresponding angles. They are equal in measure. Remember, equal, fancy name is congruent. Okay, so again, same position, bottom left, bottom left. All right, next page. What do we got? What is the value of x in the diagram shown? All right, so this is totally different. This is one that was exterior. So you had to do something to those two to get the outside. This has nothing to do with 180. Everybody thinks it does, has nothing to do with 180. So I taught you to add those two, and it gets you x. So if I add 35 and 62, the two non-adjacent interior angles, you're going to get the outside. And that's going to give us 97. So add the two non-adjacent interior angles. Okay, add the two non-adjacent interior angles to get the exterior angle. Okay, because the measure of this exterior angle is equal to the sum of those two. So add those two together to get this exterior angle. All right, number 6. Lines A and B are parallel lines. The measure of angle 3 is 20 degrees. And the measure of angle 6 is 20 degrees. Or find the measure of angle 6. Okay, so because this one is 20 degrees, it is alternate interior to this one right here. So because this is an acute angle, a small angle, you notice this is also acute, which is less than your 90 degrees. This is also going to be 20. So the measure of angle 6 is 20 degrees. And again, if this is 20, this is 20. And because these are vertical angles, if this is 20, this is 20. If you notice, these are both top right. Top right, same position, corresponding from up 4. They're going to be exactly the same. But any acute angle equals any other acute angle anywhere in the 8 of them. So alternate interior angles are equal in measure. So again, alternate interior angles can be those two right there, or they could be those two right there. All right, and our last new one for today, what is the value of diagram shown, of x in the diagram shown? So if you notice, we have these V angles. V stands for vertical. So this one you could tell is obtuse. This one, hopefully you could tell, is also obtuse. Since they're both obtuse, they have to be equal. And vertical angles are always equal in measure. So we are going to equal them to one another. So we have 5x minus 2 equals 4x plus 17. All right, there's no distribution. There's no parentheses. I cannot combine those two. I cannot combine those two. So I want to move. Which one do I move, 5x or 4x? Okay, so we move 4x because it is smaller. So do the opposite operation by subtracting 4x on both sides. And you get x minus 2 equals 17. Now solve. Bring this over here. Add 2 to both sides. And x equals 19. Now, you don't want to put a degree sign on here because you're not solving for an actual angle. Here, this x was actually the angle you were solving for. It's not. Here, x is just part of the angles. Remember, there's no degree sign. All right, so here are our steps. Vertical angles are equal in measure. And that's basically all you have to know because they are congruent. So set equal to each other. That's what you want to do, set them equal to each other. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go to the now you try. And again, you're going to see they're the same 7 questions I just did. Now it's your turn to practice. So use the examples, use the notes to help you. Stop the video, try the questions, and then when you're done, we'll go over the answers. All right, so number 8, same thing as number 1. So we know it has to do with this straight line, which is equal to 180. We know this one right here is 90. So all 3 of these together are going to add up to give you 180. So we have 72 plus 90 plus x equals 180. So we combine our like terms. 162 plus x equals 180. We're going to move over our constant over here by subtracting, and that's going to get us 18. So x is 18 degrees. Notice this does have a degree sign because this is the actual angle. All right, number 2, we have our 2 angles, and one of them is our 90 degrees. So we know just like before. Okay, this one is going to be a right triangle. So again, if you're confused at all, this one is the same exact question as number 2. I even put them in the same exact order to try and help you out. Okay. All right, so we have an x here. So 56 plus 90 plus x is 180. Because again, you have to know all 3 angles add up to 180. So combine your like terms. You get 146 plus x equals 180. And for this one, you should have gotten 34. So the measure of angle B equals 34 degrees. Oh, actually over here, this should be, this should be the measure of angle B is 47 degrees, not x technically. It should be the measure of angle B. All right, so the next one is basically we're just going to do a guess and check. Okay, we are guessing to see if these add up to 180, and they have to add up to 180 if they want to be a triangle. So 63, 102, 18, I get 183. Is 183 equal to 180? No, it is not. So it's no, not a triangle. And if you want to say why, tell me because you don't get 180. All right, number 11. So we're talking about 3 and 5. So notice that these are in the same exact position. Top left, top left. Okay, this is an acute angle of 65 degrees. This is also an acute, so the acutes are equal to each other. So the measure of angle 3 is 65 degrees. All right, number 12. Moving right along. Hope you guys are doing okay. All right, so you have 2 interiors and 1 exterior. So remember, you want to add those together. So you should have added 55 and 48. And when you add them together, you should get 103. So you get 103 degrees. So it has nothing to do with 180. All you do was just add those 2 together, and that got you 103. All right, next question, number 13. So for number 13, we're talking about measure of angle 4 and then 5. So 4 is 110. We want to know what 5 is. So if you notice this is an obtuse, this is also obtuse, which means greater than 90. So obtuses are equal. So if one of them is 110, the other has to be 110. All right, and our last question, hopefully you guys are doing okay. These are our vertical angles. Vertical angles are always set equal to each other. Notice this is obtuse, and obtuses are always equal to one another. So add 5, that gets you 110. And if you got 55, you got the correct answer. So hopefully you did okay on day 2, which is a lot of angles. Okay, as far as your homework goes, what you're going to notice, and this is what I do. Now that we've had 2 days, the first 9 questions, okay, 1 through 9, are going to be from, 1 to 7. I apologize. We did 7 today. The first 7 questions from day 2, homework day 2, are from day 2. So what you just learned. And then you're going to notice that once question 8 starts, it's no longer day 2. Now it's going to go back to day 1 so you can practice with day 1. Okay, so half of this is day 2 homework, and then the other half is day 1 homework. And you're going to see that's how I always do it. We'll keep practicing, keep repeating the same kind of questions so you guys get good at it. All right, so don't forget to post it on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks. Bye.